Welcome to tonight's webinar, What Does God Say About Money and Giving, Part 2. And tonight we're focusing on the giving aspect. And so first, let's begin with just the purpose of a webinar. We're going to provide training for you personally to use your Logos Bible software better. We're going to provide training so that you can study this topic for yourself. Third, we're going to provide biblical insights along the way related to the topic. And lastly, we're going to provide materials so you can equip yourself and others. Now, every webinar includes a personal book. Let me go ahead and show you what that personal book looks like. So this book is included with the purchase of the webinar, and as you can see at the left, there's a table of contents. And these are my notes, but it's more than notes. We've got links in here to Logos Bookstore. If I'm running a special search, we've got some of those searches already embedded in there. This way you can follow along with the webinar. And we also have got some cross-references to the scriptures and just additional notes on what the Bible says. So I think you'll find that extremely very valuable there. And the way you do that, I just thought I'd take a second here, is you go to Tools. And when you get the personal book, you just go to Tools, Personal Book. And then I've already got it created here, so I'm just going to go down to the bottom and scroll down here to What Does the Bible Say About Money and Giving. And basically, you just click up here, Add a Book, and then you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to add all the details that are necessary for the book. And I give you instructions to do that. And so you can see all the details are here. And then you'll click on Add File. And then you'll locate that book. Okay, here's mine, Personal Book Giving. And then when you're ready, you just click Build Book. And in a few moments, Logos will convert that Word document into a personal book that is now inside your library. In fact, if I close it down and I go up to the library icon and I type in money and my last name, you'll see that we have Part 1 and Part 2 personal books located. Now that's a quick overview. I just thought I'd give that to you. I know people have asked, how did you create that personal book? That's a good example, a quick example how to do that. Now, we do have training on the personal book builder itself. So if you want to learn more about that, you can just go to LearnLogos.com. In fact, let me go ahead and bring that in there and we'll show you. And just go up to the search box and just type in personal book. And you can put in personal book builder if you wanted to. And if you scroll down and look at the search results, you'll see the webinar right here for Personal Book Builder. And we not only give you several hours of training, but we give you some additional templates as well that you can download for free, which will help you create your own personal books, commentaries, devotionals, etc. So I think you'll look forward to that to grow your skill set in the Personal Book webinar. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint. And let's look at tonight's topics. So right now we're in the introduction and opening. We'll then take a quick look at some recommended but not required resources. That is, books related to the topic of giving that can help you learn more about what the Bible says on this topic. Then we're going to go through several steps on preparation for studying the topic of giving. And then we're going to begin to look at examples of Old Testament, New Testament giving to the Lord, how we give to His people, and how we give to His purpose. Then we'll look at the purpose of giving at several key New Testament passages. We'll show how to study those passages. And then we'll look at understanding giving in the Old Testament in particular, in the area of tithing and so forth. And then we'll talk about some principles and elements of offerings to God. So the big question tonight is to tithe or not to tithe. We'll definitely address that as well as some other topics that will come up tonight. So very excited to bring those to you. Just to be aware, we've got a webinar, live training that is, coming up in Chicago in a couple weeks, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And included with the purchase of the training, you'll get a free set of Logos 5 training bundle videos. So that makes it even a better value because you can get some live training and then some free training videos to take home. So the address is there. Go ahead and just click on the link to find that on the website. It's pretty easy. Let me go ahead and bring you back to LearnLogos.com. And if you just scroll over, my screen's kind of large here, but over at the far right, you've got mini seminars and event. And when you click on that, you can scroll down and there it is. You just click Add to Cart and you can purchase. It'll be free purchase, of course, or actually $45. So you pay in advance and then we'll ship you the DVDs and then we'll meet you there in Chicago. So very excited to be able to bring that to you. We got several webinars in the queue that are going to be releasing this weekend. So we've got the Future End Time Series, Part 2, Rapture Views. We've got Events of the Tribulation, Part 3. We've got Fundamentals of the Faith, How to Study Parables, and we'll have this one ready, What Does God Say About Money and Giving? So watch this weekend for the email. You'll be seeing the links to purchase these very shortly. So very excited to be bringing those to you. Webinars are traditionally retailing for $9.99, but we give you a discount of 50% off, so it's only $4.99. Also, if you have not purchased the Logos Training Bundle, I really recommend this. It goes so much beyond any training that's out there. We have it for Logos 4 as well as Logos 5. There's a 50% discount. And what makes the training bundle so special is as follows. First, we're going to cover every single feature in Logos 5. Then that's the orange CD. That's about 8 hours of training. Then on the blue CD, we're going to introduce you to 282 different books organized into 14 Bible study categories. You have Logos Bible Software, and it has a lot of books, and most people aren't familiar with the various books in their library. So we're going to show you some books that you have in your library, and we're going to show you some books that are not in your library. And we're going to teach you which books to use during the Bible study process. And then the green DVD is where it really gets interesting. We're going to take all that training now, and we're going to teach you how to study a passage. We're going to use Matthew 13, Parable of the Sowers, to do that. So very excited to bring that training to you. So it takes you from basic all the way through advanced. It's the most comprehensive training on the planet. It's over 21 hours of training, 500 videos for Logos 5. Logos 4 is about 17 hours of training, about 300 videos. You can get that at LearnLogos.com/buy now. Okay, let's go ahead to the next slide. And our next webinar is going to be a couple weeks away, and that's going to be Thursday, November 7th, End Times Part 4, the final part of the series, and it'll be on the Millennial Kingdom. Believe it or not, there's quite a few different views out there. Some believe there is no millennial kingdom, and others do believe there is one. And then the question is, how long is it? What I'm going to show you is how, from Genesis through Revelation, how the millennial kingdom is discussed. We're going to find out what is going on during that time, who's going to be there, how to study this topic. Very, very exciting, thrilling look into the future, the millennial kingdom. So you don't want to miss that. Go ahead and sign up at LearnLogos.com/events. All right, so let's get started, and let's take a look at some recommended but not required resources to study this particular topic. So let's go ahead and open this up, the personal book, and let me expand this so we can take a look. Now, in the webinar or in the personal book, I have included both the resources for our first webinar on money, and then also all the books on giving. So whether you purchase the first webinar or the second webinar, I've included the resources for both, because a lot of times they do overlap, though I've tried to organize it so you can see them, that they are separate, money and giving. So let's focus on the giving. But before I do that, one resource that's really amazing is this one. It's a video resource by Mark Keelar, part of the Good Steward Giving an Account, and it's a 16-part series. Let me take you to the Logos website and show you that. Okay, and so it's 16 videos, and I think it's, I'm not sure how many hours it is. It's quite a few, at least 16 hours. And you can see there's various topics that are covered. And so this is a video that you can actually watch inside Logos. In fact, let me go ahead and bring one of those open so you can kind of see that. And let's see if I can get here. And so here's one, the Good Steward. And when you click on that, you'll see that the video will open up. Now that video can be resized, and so I'll go ahead and do that. And then you hit play, there you go. And so now you can fast forward that. You can see them talking. There's PowerPoints that come up during the way, questions that are asked. It's some really good, amazing training lectures, and kind of a unique resource. So I thought you'd enjoy that. All right, the next one is Randy Alcorn's. Now, we won't go through every one of these resources, but I want to pick out a couple. I really appreciate Randy Alcorn and what he's been doing in his resources. This one in particular on giving is extremely helpful. He's going to deal with the topic of, looks like it's taking a little moment to load here. So while I'm waiting for that, let's go ahead and just open up the book. He will deal with the topic of stewardship, money, tithing, giving, all of that. And so here's a whole topic on tithing. and his perspective on there. So I think you'll find that extremely valuable. In fact, let me see if it's ready now. There we go. So this particular book is found at Verso, and this happens once in a while. I will check the Verso website. It's Logos compatible. As you can see, the book does load into Logos. And let me go ahead and make sure I've got the right pricing there for you. Great. And so this book will integrate into Logos even though it's from the Verso website. Verso is owned by Logos. And you can see that there's also links down here to additional resources. So always check that out. So we've got our collection. Let's just go ahead and search that collection real quick just to see what that's like. And so you can check that out. So we're going to go up to the top and click on the magnifying glass. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to, now that the search menu is open, search window is open, go ahead and click Basic. Now, very important that we choose the right element. All right. So right underneath Basic, you have the search criteria. It says Search All Text Entire Library. Go ahead and click Entire Library. Now, it may say something else because of some previous search that you have, but nevertheless, we want to click, and then in the find box, let's type in money and giving. And you will see that we've got our little collection here, money and giving. So now we are ready to search because we've got our collection ready to go. So let's go ahead and just type in something pretty simple. Let's just type in the word tithe and then press enter or click the white arrow in the blue circle. Now the search results are listed below. You'll notice at the, in fact, let me go ahead and see if I can do this real quick here. Yeah, here we go. Now I press the F8 button on my keyboard, which allows me to turn on the Logos highlighter. And that's how I was able to color this particular area. Then if you press escape, it'll make the color go away. Now notice how there is a blue ranked, then black by title, and then blue by count. The black is the one that is currently selected. The blue are the other ways the search results can be displayed. Let me just take a moment to look over each one of these because I know sometimes we forget that people are new to the webinar, and I want to make sure they learn all these little subtle things in the Logos program. So what is rank? Well, rank is Logos is displaying the search results in what it believes is the best searches at the top. Okay, so it makes a decision for you, and it organizes the search results in a way that it feels the best hits are at the top. Okay, the by title is basically an alphabetical list of your search results by book. Okay, so you can see there B's, then C's, and so forth. Okay, notice that it does ignore the word the in the book list. Very important to notice that. Now, the by count is something you probably don't use too often, but it's still very valuable, and it resorts your search results based on how many hits are in the book. So this is a great way to see if one book versus another book talks more about your particular topic that you're searching. So in the case of our word tithing, the book Covenantal Tithe has 539 hits and 68 articles. And then we've got Money, Possessions, and Eternity with 300 hits. So these are the books that are going to spend a lot more time on the issue, most likely, than the other books. So these are the three ways by which you can display your search results. And each one has a benefit. Ranking says, hey, give me the best resources first in line. That's what it's for. By title is you want to look at the search results, but you have a particular book in mind that you want to check first. So you're going to organize them alphabetically, or Logos will do that, and then you just scroll through the list and say, oh yeah, there's that Larry Burkett Money Matters book. Let me go there. And then the by count is to see which book is more weighted. That is, has more search results than others. And that way you can go to a book that's going to really talk a lot about the topic. So that should be very helpful. And so this is one advantage of creating a collection on money and giving in this case, and searching for a word, a phrase, a topic, etc. Now we've done a lot more searches tonight to show you, but I at least want to get you started to see what kind of resources you already have in your library that can help you study this topic on money. Okay, wonderful. Now let's go ahead and move to our next section in the presentation, and that is preparation for studying and giving. Now, in this particular topic, it's going to be really important that you create a kind of study workspace. So let's go ahead and open up a Bible. So I have a little shortcut to the New American Standard. You could go to your command box and type in the abbreviation to your Bible. And you'll notice that when I typed in NASB 95, an option appeared, Open New American Standard. And if we click that, the book will open. And of course, you can always click on your library icon. Once again, type in the abbreviation for the book, and then click on the title, and that will open the resource as well. All right, now I'm going to move that resource to the left. Now, the next thing you want to have open is probably some notes. So I'm going to go to Documents, and I'm going to click on Notes. And let's go ahead and relabel the notes, and let's just call this Giving. Make it real simple. And something I like to do, in addition to labeling, is put in parentheses Notes. So besides creating notes, let's go ahead and click on Documents, and let's add a clipping. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon, type in Giving again, and this time type Clippings. Okay, so again, if we go to Documents and we type in Giving, now you can see that we see Giving twice, but now we know it's Notes and Clippings. Very, very useful. The last document I want to add is the passage list. So go to Documents and go to Passage List, and let's go ahead and relabel that one, Giving. And we'll put in there passage list. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to save this document. So let's go ahead and go up to the top right and click Layouts. And we'll just choose Save as Named Layout. And then we'll type in Giving. And then you can press Enter or hit the white arrow in the blue circle. Once you do that, Logos will save it, move it to the left in the list. You may have to scroll down depending on the size of your list, and it'll put a check next to it. And now our layout is saved. Now you could left click and drag that layout to the top if you want. And so now while you're studying the topic, you're one click away from accessing your layout. If you don't like the icon that Logos provides, just right click on it and just choose one of the flag icons. I'm going to choose the green one. So this is a strategy that I use quite often, that when I sit down and focus on a topic, I will create a layout, and then I'll save that layout, and then I'll create a link to that layout on my shortcut toolbar. So that way I can keep coming back to the layout, continue my study, and stay focused. And then once my study is complete, I just right-click on that layout shortcut on the toolbar and choose Delete. And that removes it from the shortcut toolbar, but it's still saved in my layout list. So that's a great way to keep you focused and save time. Now, what we want to do with the layout with the Giving passage list is we want to add a couple special headings, because when you study the topic of giving and tithing, there's some major themes that you're going to see. So let me show you how to create a heading inside the passage list. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click in this blue area where it says Reference, and a menu appears. And I'm going to choose Insert Heading. And the first one that I would put in is Objects of Giving. Okay? In other words, who are the people that are giving to? What are the reasons, or what are the objects of what we're giving to? God, for example, would be an object of our giving. We give to God. But you might want to be more specific. You could be looking at the Old Testament. We say, okay, give to the temple, and so forth. Okay? Then you could also include, let me go ahead and add another heading. Second one here, reasons to give. Okay, and so we can look at all the reasons that are explained in the Bible. Now, some of these will be obedient. Some of this will be done out of obedience according to the Word. Others will be for the wrong motive and the wrong reasons. So that way you can identify those. The next heading that I would add is warnings in giving. All right, and there's a lot of topics in the Scriptures, as we're going to see tonight, of how not to give, or how what to avoid. For example, watching out for a greedy heart, those kind of things. And then you could also, as we study, you'll see there'll be other headings that you can add. So this is just 3 to get us started. And by the way, you can move these around. If you float your mouse over any of these rows, you'll see that it gets highlighted. And if you left click in the white space, you can move it. And you'll see that there's a little line there. So if I wanted objects of giving, move to the top, I could just drag that to the top. If I wanted warning in giving, I would left click in that space to the right, and I would drag it down. And there we go. Just so we have a passage, let's go ahead and type in 2 Corinthians 8. And we'll just do the whole chapter. Okay. Now, I normally don't do a whole chapter, but we'll just do that anyway, just for demonstration purposes, so you can see this. And so now we have 2 Corinthians 8 listed in our reference. Now, if you add the verse, you realize you don't want that much in there, just go ahead, float your mouse at the right, click the little red X, it'll go away, and then you can add individual passages like Genesis 1:1. And now we've got our single verse. And then, just like the headings, we can move the passages. So we just left click on that space, and then we could just drag that to whichever heading makes sense. And so this way, as you're studying, as you're finding passages, you are able to organize them right away. And that'll make the passage list so much more user-friendly.